acknowledge the traditional custodians of this region, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, and their continuing connection to the land. Hello everyone, my name is Nathanael Ditchburn. I'm the celebrant for Margaret's memorial, and although I only knew her for 1 year, I feel privileged to be able to be here today to present this service for her. Thank you for all attending. I'm sure you all have fond memories of Margaret. She truly was a thread in connecting people in this community. Her love of animals, particularly dogs, resulted in many newfound friendships and long-lasting bonds between their pets, their owners, and of course, Margaret and her very own George Clooney in the form of beloved Buddy. Margaret loved this area and walked Buddy twice a day, every day, alongside the river here in Woodbridge. She loved the environment, the wetlands, the bird life, the light on the water. Today we take the opportunity to gather in honour and celebration to reflect on the life of Margaret Rose Hobson. Please welcome Carol Astbury, who will deliver the eulogy on behalf of Margaret's family.
Symbolise remembrance of Margaret, with gratitude that she lived and shared her life with us for a time. From childhood's hour, I have not been as others were. I have not seen as others saw. I could not bring my passions from a common spring. From the same source I have not taken my sorrow. I could not awaken my heart at the same tone, and all I loved alone. After reflecting on notes about Margaret's life sent by her brother John, coupled with some investigation, I was struck by the fact that her life had taken many twists and turns. It appears that she had numerous unresolved issues that led to deep feelings. She always appeared strong, and yet in recent times impenetrable, which may have led to a loss of deep connection with many of her friends, which is really sad when you think about it. But today, let's recall the Margaret of fond memory. She was born in 1950 and is survived by her younger brother John, her older half-brother David. Her mother died 3 years ago at the age of 101. Her older sister, who's a half-sister, died a year before that, shortly before her 80th birthday. Margaret's childhood was characterised by ill health, in particular a severe bout of pneumonia, from which the doctor feared she would not recover. Finding neither solace nor success in school, Margaret left as soon as she was able and obtained her first job as a waitress with an upmarket Sydney restaurant chain. With newfound income and friends, she found joy and made the most of Sydney's developing music scene. Margaret made the step into nursing at Canterbury Hospital in Sydney, from where she graduated in the early 1970s. However, the call to adventure saw her leave nursing for a while. She travelled to Lizard Island at the northern tip of the Great Barrier Reef to work as a housemaid, followed by a short return home to Sydney before taking a post as the community health sister in Fitzroy Crossing. She enjoyed the reality of life in remote Australia, working with Aboriginal communities, and claimed an abiding affiliation with those people. After an extended period in Fitzroy, she subsequently moved into a similar role in Derby and then Broome. After a brief stint nursing in Perth, following her father's death in 1987, Margaret moved to Victoria to be closer to her mother in Albury, where she returned to community nursing in the Victorian Alps, including Bright. After several years, Margaret decided that her relationship with conventional medicine was at an end. Ancillary to this was her growing interest in homeopathy, bark flower remedies, and other alternative practices. She returned to Perth, where an opportunity arose to work as a carer in group homes for young people. She embraced this new role with enthusiasm, but was not prepared for the behavioural issues that some young people manifested, and it was not very long before conflict with a pair of resident siblings resulted in a violent attack on her. While she did recover physically, the emotional damage was profound, and eventually determined she be placed on a disability pension with enduring PTSD. After relocating to Woodbridge, Margaret took a few casual positions, waitressing in a Chinese restaurant and later a cafe in Midland. Many here will remember her as the delivery lady for the community newspaper, always ready for a chat, a pat, and treats for the dogs. Margaret always had an affinity with dogs, especially abandoned ones, and some of her happiest times were in the company of animals rather than people. Family memory holds dear the fact that young Margaret came home several times with lost dogs that needed to be returned to their owners. It was here in Woodbridge that Margaret settled into her little house in Harper Street. Her daily rituals included long morning and afternoon walks with Buddy, through Ray Marshall Park, along the river to this place, where she would often stop to sit a while Buddy took a swim, or his endearing look to people at the barbecue, where he usually received a treat. Or in fact, a pig's ear from Peter on Tuesday evenings. Margaret could often be found sitting on a bench beneath the tree, just over there, watching the glorious sunsets and the light on the water, which she loved. She also enjoyed regular trips to Willing Cafe in Guildford for a coffee and the chance to pick up Saturday's West TV page, plus a weekly visit to the ice cream shop, a treat for herself and Buddy. Some time ago, Tsukio Mahikari and its purifying light captured Margaret's imagination, and she became an enthusiastic devotee, making several pilgrimages to the Mother Shrine in Japan over the years. In fact, she was planning her next visit at the time of her passing. This is a quote from the words of the founder, Kotama Okada, from the Tsukio Mahikari. All things in heaven and on earth were created by God to interact in harmony. Where opposites firmly unite, love and harmony are produced. Everything in nature's functions in accordance with the principle of harmony. As children of God, we need to cultivate a spirit of harmony, because harmony, or the lack of it, influences every aspect of our lives. Margaret became ill some months ago. In character, she spoke little of her condition, but fell several times and became weakened. But despite our pleas to take her to a doctor, she refused medical help until after the last fall, when she realized that hospitalization was finally necessary. She spent weeks firstly in Midland Hospital, then Charles Gardner, before being relocated to Kalamunda Hospital for palliative care. Thankfully, the staff at Kalamunda were able to facilitate a visit by Buddy, so Vanessa and I took him along. Margaret died a week later, on Friday the 28th of April. Margaret, your song is ended, but the melody will linger on.
Stolen Child, a poem by William Butler Yeats, one of Margaret's favourites.
The Stolen Child by William Butler Yeats. Where dips the rocky highland of Sloot Wood in the lake, there lies a leafy island where flapping herons wake. The drowsy water rats, there we've hid our fairy vats, full of berries and of reddest stolen cherries. Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with the fairy hand in hand, for the world's more full of weeping than you can understand. Where the wave of moonlight glosses the dim grey sands with light, far off by further rosses we footed all the night, weaving olden dances, mingling hands and mingling glances, till the moon has taken flight. To and fro we leap and chase the frothy bubbles, while the world is full of troubles and anxious in its sleep. Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with the fairy hand in hand, for the world's more full of weeping than you can understand. Where the wandering water gushes from the hills above Glencar, in pools among the rushes that scarce could bear the star, we seek for slumbering trout and whispering in their ears, give them unquiet dreams, leaning softly out from ferns that drop their tears over the young streams. Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with the fairy hand in hand, for the world's more full of weeping than you can understand. Away with us she's going, the solemn-eyed. She'll hear no more the lowing of the calves on the warm hillside, or the kettle on the hob sing peace into her breast, or see the brown mice bob round and round the oatmeal chest. For she comes, the human child, to the waters and the wild, with the fairy hand in hand, for the world's more full of weeping than she can understand.
Thank you, Jerry. I invite those who would like to offer a brief verbal tribute, shared memory. Please raise your hand and we will bring the microphone to you. Or perhaps we could even start with Lois.
Buddy wants to say something.
Oh, Bud. Yes, mate. He doesn't say much, actually, does he? He's good like that.
So today there's a photo here on the table, and I just want to talk to that really. This photo was taken a few years back one Christmas day, and I decided to print it off just last year, and I put it in frame to give to Margaret. What I liked about the picture was how it captured a very relaxed, comfortable time sitting on our veranda, enjoying just that moment. Margaret telling us some story, Jerry and I listening, Buddy at her feet, and Tess, our dog, so happy that she was there. Tess was special. She had been the street dog living by the old railway workshops before she lived with us, and she loved Margaret. Margaret loved her too. She said she was so like the girl she used to have, and she made a fuss of her and called her Madam because of the way she behaved. Not many dogs tolerated Tess. She wanted to round them up mostly, but Buddy liked her. But at some point in this gathering, Tess decided he wasn't giving her enough attention and proceeded to hassle him, but Buddy just ignored her. The funniest thing was when Tess decided she would sit on Buddy's head, and this made us and Margaret laugh so much. Margaret couldn't believe the antics of Tess. When Margaret was doing her paper rounds, she would come through our little gate and spend some time sitting with Tess, and often I would join them. She will be missed. Travel well, Margaret.
Deborah Cooper, would you like to say a few words?
I hadn't planned to, Nathanael, but yes.
That's fine. Try and speak into this.
Okay, can you hear me? I hadn't planned to speak today, and I'm a bit emotional. Marg and I had a falling out. I say this with great disdain for myself, mainly because we've been really good friends for a very long time, and it was over a silly thing. And although there was many apologies, Margaret never forgave me. So I suppose from that I take really, there's no time like the present. She taught me a lot. She helped me a lot. She was a healer, and I learned a lot from her. I'm actually waiting to see which birds come down the Swan River. As a migrant, she accepted me, and I think she accepted anyone who was lost. And I will miss her, even though we never really got back to being the friends we were. We still talked, we still laughed, and we still had this great love of dogs. I'm going to say this because it's a giggle in the family. She adored my curly-coated retriever, who was the most beautiful animal in the world, after Buddy. But she really didn't like my little black poodle, and she would refer to him as that little. So we decided not to bring him today in case he disgraced us, and lived up to Margaret's name. So I know she will be going well. I know she'll be where she wants to be with her ancestors. And here's to you, Margaret.
Yeah.
Well said, Deborah. Thank you. Would anyone else like to say a few words? Sure, come on up.
Hi, I'm Sharon. I live up at Ford Street, for those who don't know. We moved to Woodbridge about 1998, I think, and I don't know when Margaret moved here, but I feel like it was around then, because she was just part of the, environment. She was always here. And like you all, I spent a lot of time speaking with her, and I've just got a fun story about Margaret. One day she turned up at my house and she said, "I need you to write a letter to my mother." And I said, "What for?" And she said, "She's absolutely madly in love." And I wish I could remember who it was, but it was like someone on Home and Away or one of those shows. And she had a photo of the actor there. And anyway, she dictated this letter, and I wrote it all out for her mum. And I signed the photo, and off it went. And apparently her mother was just so beside herself to get this letter from this actor. And I don't know how long ago that was. Gosh, could have been 15 years ago, could have been 10, I don't know. But anyway, we had a great old laugh about that. And I'll miss her too. I had lots of great chats, and my dog Lottie was a bit like your dog. She used to get so cross at Lottie, but you know what? They never forget about those treats in that pocket. There's not much you can do about that. Yeah. Anyway, rest in peace, Margaret.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Sharon. It's a great fun story. Diverse. That's Woodbridge, isn't it? The characters that are here, and Margaret was integral to that. And it's just wonderful to hear your story. Let's take a few moments for silent contemplation, where you may reflect on your memories of Margaret, while we listen to the song "Light on the Water" by Rich Skomberg. Oh, yes, and Ollie will bring snippets of rosemary, the herb of remembrance. Please take a piece and allow your mind to be still in contemplation of love and remembrance.
water light inside. Meet me where the waves of love collide. Wrapped inside your majesty, your coiling soliloquy, a beauty that confides.
It's now time to say a final farewell. Nath is going to prepare to take Margaret's ashes into the river.
Folks, thanks so much for coming. That concludes today's ceremony. Perhaps you'd like to stick around for a chat. It's a wonderful farewell.